Hey guys, Silverlord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be continuing our looks at the DC Multiverse Batman Forever wave with Man, the Myth, the Legend, good old Jim Carrey as the Riddler. This is of course brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. And riddle me this, who's the best figure in the wave? Well, I think you are looking at him. Although I will say, Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face, giving him a run for his money. Had he come with the Tommy gun I gave him, he probably would have been my favorite, but this Riddler, man, is pretty freaking awesome. I mean, it's Jim Carrey. It's Jim freaking Carrey, and it looks like him too. It doesn't look like some half-arsed knockoff version of Jim Carrey. That said, we need more Jim Carrey characters as figures. Like, we got Ace Ventura, we got this guy, now we need the Mask, and the Grinch, possibly Dumb and Dumber, possibly some other things. Trying to think of what else he's done. There's got to be, there's another significant role I'm totally blanking out on, but that's just, if you watch my Batman and Robin reviews from the other day, you know I'm blind and dumb. But not deaf, so a pinball wizard I am not. Hairdryer wizard, a little bit. So, before we get too far ahead of ourselves with random side tangents, why don't we got right to the chase and get to the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all good old Jim Carrey has to offer in terms of accessories. We got a fist and an open hand. Would have been nice to get pairs, but it's nice to get anything, I guess. Of course, we get his Riddler cane. It's kind of gummy, but it's straightened out significantly since I got this guy. I will say this is the same Riddler cane as the DC Classic Riddler from DC Multiverse, which I was dumb. See what I did there? I was dumb and I didn't order. And that thing is sold out 6 ways from Sunday. So I do need that figure. So if anyone's got one, let me know. I need him, Nightfall Catwoman, and Nightfall Tim Drake. It just bums me out that I missed like a whole wave of figures, man. That I would have gotten. Nowadays, I don't do that. Just put myself into debt like an idiot. That said, we do get the Bat Bomb, this little thing here, which looks like a little teeny bat, I guess. Very interesting. Almost looks like a grenade with bat wings on it. Kind of, sort of. Then, of course, we get a collectible trading card. And you can see that, yeah, likeness is pretty good. But, yeah, man. Take a closer look at Jim Carrey here. Here comes the hockey puck display stand reusing with all McFarlane Toys releases. Riddle me this. He looks just like little Jim Carrey, man. That's freaking cool. As far as articulation on this guy goes, though, his head will rotate. Look up a little bit, down a little bit, tilt side to side. I always thought he had a top hat. Does he have a top hat in this movie, or like a fedora? Maybe he wears like the suit at one point, like the tux. I'd have to get that one if they did it. I feel like I'd have to get that one. And maybe a variant of Batman. That's significant. Because I do like the different suits and stuff. I just limited on space. Shoulders will go up. Again, not very far, but they do work. They do rotate. He does have that butterfly going on. You can see it on this guy. It's pretty chunky. He's got a bicep swivel. Pretty tight elbow joints. Not very chunky though. That's nice. And then his wrists have the ball hinges that will hinge, rotate, and rotate. And the grip hands fairly loose on those pegs. I'm not sure why that is, but it is what it is, I guess. Torso will tilt that far back, that far forward, not very much forward at all. And then the rotation is there, the tilt side to side is there. Then you do get some rotation in the waist. That's very tight. Not so much tilt, but there you go. He's a little bit wobbly, but it's probably because I'm moving him. Hips will kick forward, back, out to the side, back down. He's got a little thigh quiver in there. Double knee works fine. Not very chunky there either. That's pretty good. Then he's got a swivel in the foot with a hinge and a pivot and all that good stuff. His feet themselves are... Nope. I thought they were the detented hinges. They are not. So that's good. So those are a little tricky. He does have toe joints, though, that are tight on both sides. This ankle joint's a little loose on mine, but it is what it is. It'll stiffen up a little bit over time, but what a cool figure, man. He's fairly basic, but I don't have a basic Riddler in this line. I just have the Arkham City, is it? One. And that one's cool, but it's not Jim Carrey. I would even go so far as to swap this Jim Carrey head on the DC Classic one just to do that, but I need to get that one first, and I don't have it, and it sucks. It's lame. It's lame that I missed that figure. Dadgummit. That said, before I wrap this sucker up, I'm actually going to compare good old Jim Carrey, aka the Riddler, here with the rest of this Batman Forever wave, because the Nightmare Bat Collect-A-Build figure, which we will be looking at tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, is a bit clunky and awkward to deal with, and I'm not going to be able to fit all the characters on screen with that thing on screen as well, so we're just going to do that in this video instead. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, and as promised, here's good old Jim Carrey as the Riddler, alongside the entirety of this Batman Forever wave, with the exception of the Collect-A-Build Nightmare Bat, that is, because that figure is a bit too clunky and awkward for me to fit all these guys on screen, so I figured I'd show you guys the wave in its entirety here, again, with the exception of the Collect-A-Build. So, of course, we also have Val Kilmer as the Dark Knight himself, we have Chris O'Donnell as a Boy Wonder, and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, who is the tallest figure of the wave, because again, to the top of his head, he's about as tall as Val Kilmer is to the top of his bat ears. That said, favorite figures of the wave, I think the villains got the dynamic duo beat here. I really like this Two-Face, and I really like this Riddler. I'm a bit torn if I like Two-Face more than Riddler now, but you can't beat the man, the myth, the legend, Jim Carrey, right? Right? That said, getting them out of here. And moving Mr. Jim Carrey to the middle. So we can bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith. Right there. And the infamous Living Spawn, who is, I would say, almost towering over good old Jim Carrey here, but not quite. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you haven't figured it out by now, good old Jim Carrey here is my favorite figure of this Batman Forever wave, mostly because I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. Now that we finally have a figure of him as the Riddler, I would love to see somebody make a figure of him as both the Mask and the Grinch, and heck, I'd even take a figure from Dumb and Dumber if that is possible. So, yeah, man, love this figure, and it's nice to have a more classic-looking Riddler in this line, because the only other Riddler I have from DC Multiverse is the Arkham City one, which is cool, but this one is a little bit more my speed. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Till next time, catch you guys later.